Boy, the way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade.
Guys like us, we had it made. Those were the days.
And you knew when you were there.
Dance for girls and men were men. Mister, we could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare state.
Everybody pulled his weight.
G.R.O. LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
Anti-Afro Svengalis, there is indeed a "Those Were the Days" phase attached to Umar Johnson in this so-called block party where there is a lot of uncertainty surrounding it. Those were the days. This is what Umar Johnson is focusing on. Look at the screen here. Do you see the frequent flyer miles? And a shout out to True Black Anonymous, who posted this article back in 2017. Now, for anyone out there who's new on the scene, you have to know we've come a long way. We have made significant strides when it comes to Umar and shutting him down in so many ways. And one of them is he can't advertise on Eventbrite. At any rate, frequent flyer miles, do you see where it says here, Umar Johnson, where he's bragging, made 93 international flights, first class, several of them, and he racked up 235,000 odd miles. And he was supposedly working on opening a school. Now, during that time, Umar wasn't homeless. He wasn't living in an abandoned bomb shelter. And he wanted so badly to be flown around the world and to be constantly placed in motels and hotels. This is just the international travel. You have the domestic travel as well, which was significant. So what do you think is going on now? If he is living in the abandoned bomb shelter, he's complaining about whatever that is on the wall, praying mantis or grasshoppers or whatever, locusts, whatever you want to call them. If you think those bugs are on the outside, what makes you think they're not on the inside? That building is compromised. If there are dead birds in the building that are big enough to get into that building, how do you think rats and roaches are not also in that building? And we confirmed there were rodents because the person who came and opened up the door for the paint made it clear that you have rodents. So this is a done deal. It's a given. There are rodents in that building. So how do you think Umar feels sleeping in there? He seemed extremely freaked out that those grasshoppers or whatever they were on the stucco. And he tried to change it into a spiritual moment. Those were the days. Now, what Umar went up and did, he went and got money from y'all, whoever deposited the money in those, whatever you want to call it, Cash App, PayPal. You paid for Umar Johnson to travel overseas. He was desperate for those were the days where he was on the go constantly. He had a junkie place, but he had a place. Now he has the abandoned bomb shelter where he has to hear crickets and grasshoppers all night long. And for sure, the rustling of the rats and the mice in there, how are you ever going to get any sleep? And if he's lying on a cot, who knows what's going to be crawling around on him? It gives me the heebie-jeebies just thinking about it. Do you think he wants to stay in the abandoned bomb shelter, or do you think he wants to resume those were the days? I think we know the answer to those questions. It's pretty obvious. He wants to be able to live a life of luxury. We definitely know nobody from St. Croix / the Virgin Islands flew Umar Johnson out there and paid for all his motels. That's why he was begging so hard. The last couple of weeks, he was going extra, and now he's going stronger. But what are you doing overseas if you supposedly have a block party coming up? It's all possible that he reassigned all of these tasks to someone else, but I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. So basically, you paid for Umar Johnson to fly overseas because he doesn't want to be cramped up in the abandoned bomb shelter. This is where the desperation lies. Now let's move over to the block party. Umar continues to advertise this block party as if it's going forward. And we've been in contact with some people. We're waiting for some phone calls back. And I'm going to say this. There are deadlines that are established very clearly in the regulations for a block party. Nobody's going to sit here and say, if you don't have a form in, say it's 2 weeks, like the street closure form. If you don't have it in 2 weeks to the day to the second, they are not going to deny you. It may be even a couple of days late. But if you don't submit it at all, therein lies the problem. Same with the vendors. Therein lies the problem. Same with the vendors. Do I think they're going to be sticklers and said, okay, this vendor permit came in virtually 1 or 2 days late. Are we going to just put it in the trash? I seriously doubt that. There is leeway. But if you flat out don't make any effort to submit the documents, that is an entirely different situation. Now, Umar was running around screaming on the streets, telling people about the block party just the other day. If this person heard him and he's over there, how come he didn't have him sign the document? Because there is a document required. There's a document. It's a street closing permit that must be signed by those affected. This is the impact mitigation process. Now, if you have 20 people that are affected and 18 sign a yes, obviously the city's going to let you have the block party. If you have a petition or a permit request and you have 18 people who sign no, you're going to have a problem. The city's probably not going to let you hold that event. Do you have any indication that Umar has undergone any of these steps? He continues to mention food. And he mentioned porta potties. Does he have the proper licensing and permits to provide those services? That is the question. And many of us are saying no. It's entirely too complicated. All of the things that he was asking for or saying he was going to have at the block party, it requires an extensive amount of planning. And you can't do that if you're overseas in the Virgin Islands. True, somebody could be picking up the slack. I seriously doubt it, because that would require the person to have access to the bank account. And we know that Umar Johnson is not going to even consider parting with whatever you want to call it, 700,000, 300,000, 200,000. He's not willing to part with the money. That's the bottom line. They want to make it seem as though this place is in tip-top shape and he wants to come and give people a tour. How is he going to give people a tour if the vacant building fees have not even been paid? Look at the screen. 2019 was a wash because it's the first year you were there. 2020 and 2021, he has been levied fees for failure to pay. He has no intention of paying anything because he's going to be getting the heck out of there as soon as he can, which means when the sheriff's office throws him out for non-payment of taxes, it is eventually going to happen. Meanwhile, he's going to continue to try to milk our community out of a pound of flesh. Whatever he can get, he's going for the gusto. He's really going to walk around and ask people to sign this petition to close the street. He's got to coordinate with the police department. He's got to coordinate with EMT. He's got to hire security who are licensed in the state of Delaware. Do you think Umar is thinking about all that? No. He's going to come up with some sort of sabotage at the end to say the block party's off. And then he's going to start rattling off his normal BS because of the coons and the agents and the haters what does he call them? The low vibrational and the bed winches and the COINTEL, and the LGBT and the goddamn NBA is suspect. All of that stuff he's going to be rattling off. He's not going to tell you he didn't turn in the documents. He's not going to tell you that. He's going to blame it on someone other than himself because he never planned to have the block party. Now, let's go on the other side. It very well could be that he got these permits in. And like I stated before, he didn't tell the city what he came on and stated publicly, what he was going to do. He's up here saying Gil Scott-Heron is going to be there. He's saying there's going to be a stage. There's going to be food. He said it again just recently, a couple days ago. He didn't go into the elaborate scheme that he went into a couple weeks back. We was there for 20 minutes. But he said food. Gil Scott-Heron. He was yelling in the street, telling people to make sure they come. He was making it very clear the block party was moving forward. He didn't want to say we got all our permits.
Black Power, how we doing, King? You know we got the block party next Saturday, right? 1 week from tomorrow, 11 to 8. All out here. Food, games, vendors, fashion show, Universal African Dance and Drum Ensemble, Gil Scott-Heron's band, games for the children. Come and get your free FDMG t-shirt.
He didn't talk about the street closure. Again, is it possible? Yes. Do I believe it? No. Because Umar went and begged for this money because he wanted to go overseas. He wanted a vacation, just like he wanted to do those Japanese baths. He wanted to get out of there. Who wants to sit around in an abandoned bomb shelter surrounded with rats and mice and nasty critters, and you can't even get the air conditioning to work? That little small thing he has. And listen to this. He was saying stuff like, let me see if I can find the clip. If I can find the clip, I'll insert it. Who's going to be at the hotel? Is there a hotel party on Saturday? Is there a hotel party on Sunday or something?
Who having a hotel party Friday night and who having a hotel party Saturday night? I'm going to come through after we clean up. Who having a hotel party at the block party Friday night and who having a hotel party at the block party Saturday night?
He's looking for a place to stay. He doesn't want to stay there. He does not want to stay at that place. He's trying to find some nookie to hook up with. He wants to leech off of people. This is what he does. He is living there in the abandoned bomb shelter. He wants to resume the good old days. He wants you to pay for it. That is why he continues to beg. But his begging days are indeed coming to an end thanks to the anti-fraud warriors. We've been working on this for a long time. Obviously not this block party, other things. And they are going to pan out. We are certain of that. I want you all to be on alert because Umar is on a rampage begging for money and people might feel guilty. Okay, if you feel guilty, I'm not going to stand in your way if you're going to give money. But just recognize that you are funding Umar Johnson's plane rides around the U.S. He's posted all these dates about places where he's going. Again, you're not going to be opening a school. You all know this. If you have all these trips planned around the U.S. and the world, you have to look at all sides. Just don't look at one issue or one person when you're thinking about fraud. Look at the big picture. And most definitely, when you look at this big picture, there are reasons to be concerned. Most of all, it causes you to heed the warning. Buyer beware.